I'm sorry. I told you I wouldn't agree with him if I didn't. It's not accurate. Coach Greg, and today I'm going to be going over Will Tennyson's new video, Build Muscle, Lose Fat. What you need to know, diet, cardio tips, full week of workouts. That's a lot in one video. And as you know, I've been rating some fitness channels, and I just felt like I'm going to rate this guy's fitness channel. He basically did a video about me on how I eat, said what he thinks. I'm going to do a video on this guy and see what he thinks. And trust me, if it's bad, I'm going to tell you. Just because I like the guy doesn't mean I'm going to give you some BS answer. If he's good, I'm going to tell you it's good. If it's bad, I am going to tell you it's bad. Why am I qualified for this? Well, I'm not, but I don't care. And if you don't think I'm qualified, then watch another video. But I feel like I am because I have a master's degree in kinesiology. I've been doing this for my whole life. You don't want to listen to me? Then don't. You don't like my voice? Then don't listen to it. Put the freaking volume off and just keep watching it, or watch someone else. So let's get right into this, see what this is about. I have not watched this video. I don't know what it's going to be about, but I know the title.
Lose the fat, gain the muscle. You can use this if you're a man, a woman, if you classify yourself as neither.
Or a circle. You can be whatever you want. It's for everybody. Even a square.
Before we start any form of diet, we gotta know how many calories are we taking in. If you don't, you're still gonna be fat and you're still gonna be unhappy. So what we're gonna be using is the Harrison-Benedict formula.
Multiply it by whatever you think you're doing, and then that tells you how many calories you're gonna eat. It doesn't work. None of that is accurate. It's all garbage, okay? Sorry, it doesn't work. You can type everything you want and you can say, oh, you need 2,000 calories a day, and meanwhile you need 3,000. It doesn't. No, it's a guess. It's like guessing your heart rate. You don't know your max heart rate unless you get your max heart rate done doing insane exercise. All right, so what do? You figure out what you're currently eating by tracking what you're currently eating. You do. You write everything you freaking eat and you figure out the calories. Then you eat less than that to lose weight because you need to be in a deficit. This is simple as that. If you don't lose weight, you cut them more and more and more until you eat negative freaking 5,000 calories if it takes that. That's how you do this. So he recommends a 300 to 500 calorie deficit. He's saying 300 if you're doing a lot of cardio and 500 if you're not doing much cardio. That's completely inaccurate and false. The deficit is independent of how much cardio you're doing or not. Okay, it's independent. So let's say you're doing a ton of cardio. A lot. 1,000 calories of cardio, whatever, 2 hours of cardio a day. That's 1,000 calories that you're burning off. It doesn't change the fact that you need to eat in a certain deficit to lose weight. What it means is if you're doing 1,000 calories of cardio, you can eat more and still be at a 500 calorie deficit. You probably still understand that. If you do more cardio, you can eat more. The more cardio you do, the more you can eat. Now I think you get it.
So in terms of the composition of those calories, do you need to track macros? No, it is a waste of time.
We agree 100%. Don't count your flipping macros. What about the protein? What do we need? He says 0.8 to 1 gram. That's awesome. That's great. That's all you need. Certainly you can eat a bit less. Certainly you can eat a bit more if you want. It's fine. It's okay. You don't need a shit ton of protein to build muscle. Fiber. He says 10 grams per 1,000 calories. You gotta up that. That's not enough. If you're only eating 1,000 calories and you're eating 10 grams of fiber, that's a baby amount of fiber. I'm the king of fiber. I can eat 10 times this amount. But still, I would recommend double this. The more fiber you eat, the more satiated you're going to be. The satiation means the feeling of fullness. It's going to slow digestion, it's going to slow absorption of the food you're eating, and make it easier and keep you more full. Remember, you're in a calorie deficit, so your ghrelin is going to increase. Punch in the face, make you eat. Remember that? Punch in the face for ghrelin. If you stretch out the stomach from more foods that are high in fiber, okay, you eat more low-calorie dense foods, you're going to be less hungry. You're going to have less hormones forcing you to want to eat. He says 15% of calories from fat. Sure, that's fine. 10%'s fine, 20% fine, 30%'s fine. It's fine. Remember, we're not counting macros. So as soon as you say percentage of fat has to be this, it's kind of like counting macros. You don't need to count. So his advice is even more so than it needs to be. It's more simple than that. Just don't eat no fat. Eat some healthy fat. Get in your flippin' salmon. I love my salmon now. I don't really like the taste of it that much, but I'm eating it every night. And babe, with flavor on it, it's pretty good. We get the flavored salmon, like it's pre-flavored. What is that stuff called?
Well, it's just seasoned.
Seasoning. Pre-seasoned salmon, or I get the sashimi. It's like, I don't know, you open the package and it's raw fish and I just eat it. Me and baby Nakey, we eat that. It's good stuff. Try that.
I recommend is weighing yourself every single day and finding your weekly average. So what you're gonna do is weigh yourself every day of the week, and at the end of the week, you're gonna divide that by 7.
We're close on this, not exact. He says weigh yourself every day. I also agree with this. And don't argue with me that you're the freaking weight obsessed. You see yourself at the scale. No, I don't care. You weigh yourself every day because it's a freaking wake-up call. You gain a pound every freaking day. Ha! It's time to slow down and stop eating so much. No, but it's water weight. If it's water weight, you're not gaining water weight every freaking day all month. Better than never looking at the scale and then a month later, like, whoa, my goodness, I gained 15 pounds. What am I going to do now? Constant feedback. Every day. At the end of the week, he says, you take the 7 days, divide by 7, gives you your average. I don't do average, I do median. Median is more accurate than average because it gets rid of the outliers in data, the extremes in data. Maybe one day you were drunk, hungover, and the next day your weight was down like 6 pounds dehydrated. Or maybe you had one day of a binge, you woke up bloated, and you had this really high weight. Throws off the average. You cross those highs and lows out, you take the median, which is the middle number. Former math teacher, middle number. He even said, look for a downward trend over time. I use those exact words. So he's very accurate on what he's saying here. You're looking for a trend in weight loss. You don't need to see it go down every single week. If one week it went up by 0.2, it went up by 0.2, who cares? The next week, if it goes back down a pound, well, we're back on. So don't worry if one week it's not as low, or you don't have to lose exactly 1 pound a week and so on. Just if the trend is down, you can plot the points every week over 10 weeks, 20 weeks, and if it trends going down, it's good. It's like the stock market, only you want it to go down if you're losing weight. Okay? You don't want it to fall in 1 second like it did a month ago. You don't want it to rise all of a sudden, unless you're trying to build muscle and you're on something special to make you build that fast. But in general, slow and steady long-term gains or losses if you're trying to build muscle or lose fat.
Does cardio kill your gains? Yeah. If you don't eat right, you don't sleep enough, and you don't train with weight.
I agree with that. You can't just do a bunch of cardio and not eat properly and expect to look the right way. And if you overtrain your cardio, like you're sore all the time because you're going crazy hard, it's going to make it harder to build muscle. Running, that's the worst kind of cardio you're going to do if you're trying to build muscle. And some of you like to jog, it's so simple to do. But if you're going to run, it's hard on the legs. And don't give me the whole sprinters and big legs and freaking marathon runners have skinny legs. It's genetic. It's not because of how they run, it's because of their genetics.
So in terms of what cardio to do whatever you want to do. You go for sprints if you like sprints, play basketball if you like basketball.
And yeah, some forms of cardio burn more calories than others, but you need to enjoy it. If you're not burning a lot of calories during the cardio that you're doing, like walking versus jogging, then you walk further, twice as long as you jog, for example. You can make up for going easy by going longer. And with my own personal coaching, I make people who don't do moderate intensity cardio, I double their cardio. So if you just go for little old walks and stuff, you got to go twice as long as if you're doing elliptical and stepper and going harder, okay? That should make sense. You need to go longer to make up for a lack of intensity. He suggests that you go by calories or distance. He tracks it with an Apple Watch. They are not accurate at all, as in a zero accurate. I'm sorry. I told you I wouldn't agree with him if I didn't. It's not accurate.
Are the calories burned accurate? No, they're wildly wrong, but as long as you're consistently inconsistent.
So he actually does know what he's talking. So I agree with him after all. He does know it's inconsistent, but it's inconsistently inconsistent for consistent inconsistency. Okay, and he has good advice. Small changes. Don't add 5 hours of cardio. Don't cut 1,000 calories a day. Don't add 10,000 steps. Small changes. You slowly make the adjustments so that over time you get to your goal. It's like what I say, add an hour of cardio per week. Cut out a couple hundred calories a day. Don't make the drastic changes and then lose your muscle or lose motivation or overtrain. Your body needs time to adapt. Just like your muscles, they get bigger and stronger if you train harder than last time. Your heart is a muscle.
Pretty important one, may I add. You could have small biceps and you're fine, but if your heart stops beating, guess what? You're dead.
Then he's in the kitchen cooking vegetables and making a salad and using Walden Farms low-calorie stuff and basically eating healthy. So yeah, eat healthy. I'm not gonna go into what he made in detail and comment. It's a healthy meal. Eat low-calorie dense foods and diet, and that's gonna help you lose weight because it's gonna help you be in a deficit and be full.
Before I start talking about the program, I just want to say I'm not claiming this to be the most scientifically based program on the planet. I know nothing about science, not even a drop.
You gotta love it because he's being honest. He's not trying to fool you. He's not trying to trick you into saying, I'm a clinical dietitian and I understand all this stuff and you need to avoid cortisol or else you'll be fat. And if you walk, you'll burn more calories and get more ripped than if you run. So he recommends a 4-day split, of which it's really, I call that a 2-day split because he's splitting his body into two things. Day 1, half his body, and day 2, the other half. Then rest day, then he repeats it, okay? So to me, that's a 2-day split. I use it as a 2-day split. It could be a different workout, different exercises on each of those days, but I still refer to it as a 2-day split, but that's just terminology changes or terminology differences. It's not a big deal. So he's doing a 2-day split, but it works out to training your entire body twice every week. That is great. I really think that 2 times a week, each body part is fantastic. So much better than training once a week. 3 times a week you could do as well. But if you're only able to go to the gym 4 times a week, I certainly do recommend you split your body into 2 and go to the gym 4 times.
So there is no planned deloads as well. Just deload whenever you feel like you need to and you feel fatigued.
I also don't plan deloads. You don't need to plan to go easy. You go easy when you need to. If you're one of the 5% of people that train hard enough to actually need a deload, then take the freaking deload. I'm probably one that could use one. Most of you aren't. Most of you could, in fact, train harder than last time, not take a deload after last time. So unless you're advanced, feeling overtrained, overworked, and you look around the gym and you're like, man, how come I train harder than everyone else in the room here? You're probably not the person that needs a deload. If you need a deload, you will know it. Trust me. If you're overtrained, you will feel it. You don't need a special formula, check your heart rate, and ask your mom and ask your dad. No, you feel horrible and you need a deload. You will know. So, chest, bench press, week 1, 4 sets of 8, week 2, 5 sets of 6, and week 3, 6 sets of 5. I 100% completely disagree with training like this. If you are training just for strength or your goal is you just love lifting really heavy, maybe, I still don't think so. It's 6 sets of 5 is just too many sets of 5. It's too much. You don't need that much volume. And you shouldn't be training that low in the rep range because there is an increased risk of injury. You're better off time under tension being higher. So perhaps doubling these reps would be in a good range and focusing on form and time under tension, working hard on the last sets. Warm up to that hard set and go really hard. That's my advice. So I've changed it a little bit, but remember, this is a young guy. He doesn't have a master's degree in kinesiology. He already said, look, I'm not an expert, it's not based, but it's what he's doing. And he looks great, so it's clearly working, but it perhaps is not ideal. He might be leaving 20% of the gains at the table, but he's certainly getting a good workout, and remember, he likes it. If you like it, you're more likely to adhere to it. Rather see somebody train kind of incorrectly, not 100% perfect, but like it and keep doing it, than train perfectly the right way, but hate it and then give up.
Every single set you do should be with the same weight. You keep the weight constant. At no point should you have to go down a weight. That just means you went too heavy.
You see, I'm 100% against that kind of training. So if you did 6 sets of 5, okay, that means that you're going to be using a pussy weight on the first set. Because if you can keep going 5, 5, 5, and 5, and 5 for all those sets, the weight has to be really light. I don't like training like that. I like warming up with a light weight, working up, and going really hard on that last set. Forcing growth by going super hard on that last set. I don't want to waste my energy doing a bunch of warm-up sets of 5 reps and just keeping it there. It's just boring for me. Maybe you don't like it, but guess what? I have my own training plan, my own way. Oh, and I do have a training program, home and hypertrophy training program. It's only $49. You can train at home if you have a home gym. If you have no equipment, you can do it. Try it, you read it, you will understand all my training philosophy of how I train myself. Again, of course you can train this way, but mine is more focused on not getting injured and maximizing muscle growth. It's not designed for just powerlifting. It's a program to pack on muscle.
So that was the chest. Now we're going to the back. So we're doing chest, back, giving the body part time to recover.
So how I would change it, this is how I personally was training before this whole mess happened, was I would do a set of back and then a set of chest, set of back and a set of chest, so that I was actually resting my chest while training my back. This is called agonist-antagonistic training. So you're training the opposite side of the muscle, basically like if you did biceps, then you did triceps, opposites, okay? So you're doing your bench press, then while your chest is resting, you do your back. Then you go right back to chest, as opposed to doing 4 or 5 sets of bench press, finishing the bench press, then doing 4 or 5 sets of back, then finishing the back, then moving back to the chest. I suggest that you should try this at home. Do your chest, 1 set, switch to your back, 1 set, and go right back to your chest, back and forth. So it's making me shorten my training time while still getting the same amount of recovery. It makes sense, doesn't it? And on the lat pull downs, he says 3 sets of 12 to 15. Now that is 100% what I do. That is the exact 12 to 15 that I use on a lot of plans. The rep range is so important because not every set are you gonna feel like you can get the same amount of reps. If you range it, well, maybe you got 15 on the first set, then you got 13, then you got 12. Rather than saying 3 sets of 12 and you're stuck on that 12, what if you felt better? 12 was easy. You don't get to do 15. Here you get to keep going and push yourself. And then he says, don't go up until you get 15 on each set. That's fine, you can do that, okay? And notice it's only 3 sets of 12 to 15. It's not like 5 sets of the same thing. I wouldn't want to do 5 sets of the same thing in the same range with the same weight. It's boring. On the next day, day 2, he's got his squats and he's doing the same exact thing. 6 sets of 5 on squats, it's too heavy. I mean, if you're a power lifter and that's up for you and you like that, that's fine. But I think for most of you, you're gonna want higher rep range. Keep that in mind, less danger, it's safer. Okay, so overall the training program, I mean, it's not bad. It's certainly better than most I've seen, okay? You probably think I went hard on him. I still give it an 8 on 10. It's still a pretty good freaking workout. It's just, it's too biased towards strength and low reps.
Every time I step foot in the gym, I treat it like it's my last. Why? Because it's an absolute honor. It's a privilege to be able to work on your health and fitness because so many people can't.
I always say, it is a reward to go and freaking train. You're being rewarded. So treat it like it's a reward. Enjoy it and have fun. And if you don't like it, find a different reward. Don't go lift weights. You don't need to lift weights. Find something else you like. Go for a bike ride. Go for a walk in the woods. Find something you enjoy.
Everything that you do in life, do it to the absolute best of your ability because it translates to everything else that you do.
And remember, if you're not motivated, it's beyond just being not motivated. If you're feeling depressed, if you're not happy with your life, go see a counselor. Go get professional help. Don't take it into your own hands. Do something about it. Talk to somebody. Open up and share how you feel. There's help out there. You can get help. You can get better. It's not always going to feel this way. Things are going to change, okay? Don't forget that. Exercise releases endorphins. It can make you feel better. Like me, I love to exercise. I hope you feel the same way about it as I do. Anyway, hang in there. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette, IFBB Pro, follow me on Instagram. And we're blooping up a couple of videos because you're gonna have to learn some more. Just keep watching. I have a cookbook and I have a training book for sale. Don't forget to go to my website and check those out. And until next time, I am out. Tennyson's. Okay. Coach Greg, and today I'm going to be Coach Greg, and today how can I suck this much? I can't say names.
You never can.
Tennyson? Coach Greg, and today I'm going to be watching